Can your first property be a buy-to-let? Yes, you can. However, there are a few things that you need to consider as a first-time buyer, whether you want to use that first-time buyer status towards a buy-to-let property, or should you focus on getting your first place as a residential. The key thing to consider here is stamp duty. Stamp duty is a tax that you pay when you buy a property, and first-time buyers get given an allowance to help them buy their first property. This allowance covers you from £0 all the way up to 300,000 as long as your first property is a residential. If it isn't a residential and your first property is a buy-to-let, you lose the stamp duty allowance, and you also have to pay the buy-to-let or second property surcharge of an additional 5% stamp duty. On any residential purchase, there's no stamp duty from 0 to 125,000. However, as a buy-to-let, investment or second property, you have to pay 5% on that portion. The second portion following that is a 2% charge, which in reality for a second property is actually therefore 7%, because there's the additional 5% surcharge you have to pay on those funds. That essentially means as a first-time buyer looking to buy a buy-to-let property valued at 150,000, your stamp duty bill would actually be £8,000, where if it was a residential, it would be 0. So potentially you've saved up some funds, you've got an entrepreneurial mind and you're looking to invest in property. It's absolutely vital, if you want to make the most of that stamp duty allowance for first-time buyers, that your first property is a residential. Don't jump straight into buying a buy-to-let without considering the opportunity cost of losing that first-time buyer allowance.